I am a slave who was recently sold. My former masters were the Roachblades, and they were traders. Mr. Roachblade was known throughout the area for his business skills. He was often gone because of business, and during that time, Mrs. Roachblade took care of the household and directed myself and the other slaves. He was often gone because of business, and during that time, Mrs. Roachblade took care of the household and directed myself and the other slaves. Not long ago, an American named George Rogers Clark moved into the Cahokia area with several men who were establishing their control in the Illinois country. Clark attempted to move my former masters to the American side, but was unable to sway her allegiance. Meanwhile, since Mr. Roachblade was away, his wife received the majority of punishment for her husband's British allegiance. She was placed under house arrest and had limited resources at the time to take care of herself. Since her husband had left, she was forced to remove all of her furniture and other property out of Cahokia. Almost all that remained with her were us slaves. Having no money left, Clark and his men took some pity on her. If her husband agreed to work with Clark, they would be allowed to retain control of me and my fellow slaves. General Clark had said that Mr. Roachblade insulted his men, although I don't know if this is entirely true. Because of this, Clark's men sold all of us into slave traders or other families. The soldiers kept the money that they made from selling us and divided it amongst themselves. We were worth roughly 1,500 pounds. As a slave, I do not have any direct allegiance to the British or the American side. I go where I am sold and I work for whoever buys me. No one takes into account my family in keeping us together. When we were sold from the Roachblades, many of us had already been separated from our families. Others were separated for the first time. It is hard work and torturous not to be allowed a family structure. But as a slave, I have no choice.